Hi, my name is Abigail Dantzler, and I'll be talking about women in the workplace specifying in STEM careers and the wage gap that affects their lives and the facts interfering. STEM stands for science, technology, and engineering and math. Stereotypes such as that these careers are meant for men only have led to affecting women's lives. There are women in this field, but the wage gap affects the number of women and their lifestyle choices in this field. Averagely, women's earnings are still behind 11% of men's earnings in this field. Two factors Scientific American Journal has noticed. One, more of the women in STEM fields are choosing less profitable fields within STEM to go into, such as biology and chemistry. 2. Women's lifestyle choices with having children affect their pay more than women without children and men. STEM careers are a rising demand. 80% of jobs in the next decade will revolve around technology skills. By the next year, in 2018, there will be an estimated 1.2 million jobs in STEM careers. Yet, only 16% of bachelor students by 2020 will go into a specific STEM career. Women in STEM face a greater gap number-wise than non-STEM field workers. But women in the STEM field earn 33% more on average than women in non-STEM careers. Women represent 49% of the U.S. workforce, but only 24% of the STEM jobs. There is statistical evidence showing that there is favoritism for men over women over jobs. Also, there is a seen preference for education and healthcare as women's job choice. Also, the percentage of men over women with a degree from a little bit of college to a master's degree tripled and even quadrupled. Discrimination, job choice, lifestyle choices all play in the system that is the wage gap for women in this field, in every field. This infograph shows for non-STEM jobs, and that the gap is not as large for that of some of the STEM wage gaps. Some excuses such as productivity or equalness of seniority of position can not be considered, since there still are senior partnered women that get paid less than their equal men. The gap still exists for more reasons than this. Social constructions have led to this gap existing, though times have changed. As seen in this description, women are choosing more of certain job careers in this field compared to others like engineering, and there are smaller numbers than men. Numbers are continuing to grow, though the gap exists, but computer science and engineering are the only exceptions of increased trends to represent women in STEM. Though most increase, they fluctuate annually. Yet you can see low in numbers and how some are lower than others, which is due to the discrimination and lack of consideration, which is part of why the gap exists. Also, with such high numbers of women choosing parts of STEM career options because of the lack of high-paying jobs, it leads to a decrease in the pay throughout jobs and an increase to others. 1/5 of STEM-educated women choose healthcare. 14% of females in STEM choose education compared to 6% of men. 40% of men are in STEM compared to 26% of women. First off, to determine the pay gap for every job, you would take the man's average earning of that career minus the woman's average earning of that career divided by the man's average earning of that career again. Some of these gaps in STEM are larger than others. This is due to the choice of jobs. Women with children and women with a preference in how their hours of their job work will more likely choose flexible jobs, which lead to more women in those careers, which leads to a bigger wage gap in those careers. But then, women are needed in other less flexible jobs, which leads to less of a wage gap in those careers, needing more women. A metaphor for this would be a seesaw, where it's never equal due to more women in certain careers due to the lack of consideration in the job application process. To see the gap in real numbers, let's talk from the medical field standpoint. Women podiatrists make about 65% of a man's dollar. Dentists make about 76% of a man's dollar. Optometrists make about 82% of a man's dollar. Veterinarians make 81% of a man's dollar. Then in physical science, natural science managers make 14% of a man's dollar. Atmospheric space scientists make 84% of a man's dollar. Astronomers or physicists make 85% of a man's dollar. I've spoken briefly about motherhood's influence on the gap, but to really understand, we need to talk about the reasons why mothers earn less. 1. Less experience due to the time they have to take out to raising children. 2. Trading higher paying jobs for jobs more mother-friendly or more flexible. 3. Discrimination towards their gender and their lack of time due to raising their children. 4. Production considered less productive than average because of their home life. Marriage also plays a factor. 10 years after college grads, 23% of moms no longer work, and 17% only work part-time. Yet, when these mothers who have no longer worked or only worked part-time return back to the workforce, even if they had never left, they received the motherhood penalty, which they are considered less likely to be able to keep their jobs or to receive less money, while fathers receive the fatherhood bonus. This is all because of gender inequality. The wage gap in STEM careers occurs from the lack of consideration due to gender discrimination, which leads to women choosing different jobs, leading to a lack of representation. This is a vicious cycle. Stereotyping that women should not be in these careers lead women who majored in STEM choose different jobs. Women are needed, but never given favorable enough conditions to succeed as greatly as men in these needed careers and with their income. These social constructions need to be not only addressed but fixed for a hope of a more fairly equipped future for the growing STEM careers. That's a wrap. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this, and I hope you guys liked it.